Welcome to Wonderland Weekly, hosted by Toronto Ty. Now sit back and have a wonderful week.
Hey everyone, Toronto Ty, back here at Canada's Wonderland once again for another very mysterious week. Yes, there are things happening. I'm not sure how many more things will happen by the time this video comes out, but let's get started by just saying Victoria Falls are now looking their stellar best. That is wonderful, but also right above them, right there. Yeah, that is a little sign that appears to say beware. And two little symbols on it, as far as I've seen from other people posting about it. Yeah, very, very exciting things happening. I'm going to get a closer look at that, but also got to check out KidZfest and Moosehorn Falls. While I'm in Medieval Faire, wanted to mention that I did get the chance to see Castaways, the new show here in Arthur's Bay using this fantastic lighthouse set piece, and the show is really, really good. It is way better than Fallout, which was the previous show. So I am very, very happy with that, and I think the crew is really using the lighthouse structure to its full effect. The one thing I'm very, very surprised by is that I was expecting there to be a story, and there really isn't. What you see on the website is the full extent of it, and it does not actually come across in the show, but that is fine. It is still a fantastic stunt and dive show here in the heart of Arthur's Bay. As I head up to Planet Snoopy, just spotted this other sign, and I know that others have seen it, but yeah, there's another beware sign. This one is a blue sign. Maybe there's something to the fact that those are different colors, but yeah, again, more on that a little bit later. Up here in Planet Snoopy, yeah, the gazebo is all decked out for the event. That is awesome. There are 3 different shows happening at this location today. So that includes a dance party with Sally and Doo-Doo the Clown, as well as Peanuts Block Party, of course. I am hoping to catch at least one of those today, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And here we have Sally coming to start off the dance party. Woo! Hello, Pigpen. How are you doing today? Staying dirty? Always, right? I'm doing pretty well. You know, enjoying KidZfest here. Always a fun time. Awesome. Great to see you. Bye. As I follow the drum line here, which is the fun line drum line. It is. We've also got a giant coloring board here, so it is not the paint by numbers, and I think that this actually works a lot better for KidZfest. So that is really, really awesome that the park is doing that, and of course, always great to have a drum line here at the park. KidZfest is always an amazing time. I am so glad that the park puts on this event. It is so giant. Right here, then we have Franklin. I believe he's just about to take a rest. But we also have a little mini golf game there, and some lawn bowling, and of course cornhole. Lots of really, really awesome, you know, just little games here. And of course, so many character interactions. This is where Franklin was. I'm not sure who is about to appear here, but yeah, there was Franklin, and then over here, outside of Zoom Zone, just outside of Zoom Zone, then we have the superhero stage featuring Marvel superheroes. Right now we got Spider-Man up there, so that is really, really fun. Yeah, just fantastic that the park is able to put this event together, and it is very, very popular, as you can probably tell by all the cues, all the temporary little flagged queues that are set up around here. And speaking of flags, they've got flags and bunting all over the place. It is wonderful that the park is able to put this event together. I'm glad that it's here, and I wish that I could appreciate it a little bit more, but I do not have a little one of my own. So maybe one day though. New at KidZfest this year is the Beyblade Battle Arena, which you can see set up here next to, right between Lumberjack Climb and Flying Canoes. So that is, really, really neat that they have this set up, and seems quite popular, so that is awesome. Only time for a quick update on Moosehorn Falls this week, but the big thing is that this plaza is now finished. It is not open yet, but it is finished. Lifeguard training is in progress, so that's good to see. Yeah, some of that going on. Fencing on both sides is done. Not sure if this scrim is going to stick around. I kind of like it, but yeah, just not sure if that is going to be permanent. And right there, the sign is in place, Moosehorn Falls. Yeah, matches the style of Mountain Bay Cliffs, as well as Muskoka Plunge and Typhoon. So really, really great to see that. And hopefully this will be open very soon. I wouldn't be surprised if at the very least an announcement about its opening date is revealed before this video comes out, because I mean, it looks like it's done. Training is happening, so that is awesome. One last look at Moosehorn Falls, getting the super wide look, and yeah, right there, looks like all the plumbing is in place, and that is good because there's water flowing on the back wall there. Not sure how well you can make it out. I could hardly tell that it was going. So that is interesting. I kind of expected it to be more prominent, but maybe that's just because it does not have tubes actively going down on it. But there is a tube on that conveyor, so that is good to see. We are getting very, very, very close. Hopefully this will be open by my next visit. All right, back up on International Street, the iconic view of Wonder Mountain is looking a little bit different. Yep, right up here in this corner here, there is a sign that says "Beware" with two very, very strange cryptic symbols there. So yeah, those symbols are being used on several of these signs. And also in a couple other places. So let's discuss them as we get to them. On the south side of Wonder Mountain, this doorway, which used to lead to the Journey Behind the Falls walkway, yeah, it's got one of these symbols on it, and that is very, very curious because it is painted on. It's not just like a sticker. That is a permanent addition to this wall. I mean, obviously they could paint over it, but very, very interesting to see one of these symbols appearing here, so close to the front of Wonder Mountain. Still on the south side of Wonder Mountain, close by to Guardian and its entrance, right there along the former Wonder Mountain walkway. Yeah, there is another sign here. It is exactly the same as the one on the front of the mountain. It says "Beware," it has those two symbols, and it is red. That is very, very curious. What do we have to be wary of? Over here in Alpenfest, there's a lot of stuff happening behind the fences, but before we get to that, I really want to talk about this new blue "Beware" sign. Yeah, unlike the other two "Beware" signs that are on Wonder Mountain, this one is blue. I feel like there is a reason for that, but one moment. Let's take a look over the fences. I'm gonna put a bunch of that footage over this because I don't have a lot to say about what's happening over the fences, but it is still interesting stuff. So, blue. Blue could indicate ice, and the latest teaser from the park does seem to indicate that ice or snow is going to play some role in the theme of whatever they are working on. Perhaps this new coaster, if it is a new coaster, will be ice themed, an ice dragon themed, maybe because it's in the Swiss Alps or Bavarian Alps or something like that. It will be, yeah, more wintry in terms of theme. I don't know, but I'm kind of thinking that maybe this new coaster or coasters, maybe it's two, could have two different sides. So there's a fire side represented by the red "Beware" signs, and then an ice side represented by this blue sign. I don't know, that's just a wild theory that I have, and then they would interact at some point somewhere around the mountain or inside the mountain. We'll have to wait and see, and hopefully new teasers from the park will help clarify some of these ideas that I'm having, because my mind is reeling. I have so many thoughts about this, but it all sounds too wild, too spectacular, and maybe I am really overthinking this. The two symbols, maybe they could mean fire and ice, maybe they could mean mountain and tunnel, but why would they have two different symbols? Could it be that there are two different coasters? Or is it just that it's a multi-launch and 2 launches will be part of the ride? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. All of that is to come along with my full prediction coming out soon. But I really wanted to get a lot of this info out there in this video because it is fascinating, and now that the teasers are going up, it is time for full-on speculation. Right under Vortex's lift hill, just next to the new entry into the mountain basement that the park added for this season, yeah, the park has actually removed part of the fence line here, the brand new fence line that they added. They have been working on a couple new footings, which seem to be pretty much complete. That is wild, but this whole basketball game is actually behind construction fence now. So the park is, as I was wondering about last week, yeah, the park is doing this piecemeal. They're putting construction fencing only around the areas that need it, as they need it. So 2 new footings south of the basketball game and 2 new footings north of the basketball game. Very interesting, and all of this lines up pretty well with all of the work that is happening over by the Fly. So very curious, and definitely getting my theory brain working in high gear. Yes, on the north side of the basketball game, the park has removed some trees, which is always sad, but yeah, that whole area is now behind construction fence, which is very interesting, as well as this whole area in front of the game stall here. And looking over the fence, yeah, there is a footing in place there, so that is very cool, and looks like it is all done, and the park is putting the pavers back in place. So hopefully this games location will be able to reopen very soon. Because yeah, I mean, people like games, right? The Fly is now a dead end, which is a little sad. Yeah, this whole pathway here has been blocked off as they work on additional footings, especially right next to the games building here. So I imagine that is temporary, and that this section of the pathway will reopen again soon. I don't know that that's the case for this whole area around the presumed station. But the rebar rectangle has now been moved, so I assume that it's somewhere in the ground now. So very interesting. Yeah, I mean, there are so many developments happening here at the park every single week, and I love checking it out, and I am so curious as to what this whole area is going to look like next year. Standing on my familiar curb, although now I am looking directly over the fence line here, and yeah, there are 2 footings which are very tall, sticking pretty far up out of the ground, which is a little surprising to me, but looks like the park is starting to fill them back in, or rather the holes around them, and put those pavers back. So that is good to see, and hopefully this pathway will be open again, maybe before my next visit. We'll see. Alright everyone, it is getting close to the end of the video, and you all know what that means. It is time for trivia time! Yes, and so for this week's trivia time, I want you to let me know in the comments below. Behemoth, right here in Action Zone, is a B&M hypercoaster. It is one of many around the world, but I specifically want you to let me know how many Six Flags parks have a B&M hypercoaster. If you can let me know that in the comments below, I will give you a shout out in my next video. And a huge shout out to Vixen2619, Aldo Parisi, and Neurotoxin91, plus user a bunch of letters and numbers. I'm sorry, I'm not going to read all of those out, but thank you to all of you for correctly stating that the reason why there is a Mayan statue where Orbiter once was is because it is remains of the original Mayan or Mexican theming for Sol Loco. The original name of Orbiter, Sol Loco, was the representative of the Mexico Pavilion for the Grand World Exposition of 1890, and I really love that the park has kept that Mayan statue around. But enough about that. Behemoth. It is a B&M hypercoaster. Let me know in the comments below how many Six Flags parks have a B&M hypercoaster. I was so excited last week. I experienced it, but I forgot to mention it in my video. Behemoth now has a single rider line. That is awesome. That is really, really appreciated. But it does mean that the fast lane now merges with the regular line down here before the stairwell. So I know that there's a little bit of frustration there from some of the fast lane users, but I really think that this is the best call. It is making sure that every seat is being filled on this amazing coaster, which just helps more people get on the ride per day. That is wonderful, and I am about to hop on it myself. Well, that'll about do it for this week here at Canada's Wonderland. It was another absolutely wonderful day. I got to check out a bunch of stuff in KidZfest, including 3 of the shows that the park has to offer. That was wonderful. Also, Moosehorn Falls seems like it is just days away now. I mean, technically it's always been days away from opening, but I think that we are just a few short days away at this point. So hopefully it will be open by my next visit, because I am really, really looking forward to that one. Everything happening around Wonder Mountain is very, very confusing and intriguing. Yeah, there are 2 symbols, there are signs in 2 different colors in 3 places around Wonder Mountain. So I am, very, very interested in future teases that the park may have. And yeah, definitely going to be following that closely as I continue to work on my prediction video. If you want to make sure to see that video when it comes out, make sure that you are subscribed. And I think that'll about do it. So until next time, as always, have a good one. If you like this video, you can now buy me a hot chocolate at buymeacoffee.com. I also love hearing your thoughts, so feel free to leave a comment. Thanks so much for your continued support, and be sure to subscribe for more wonderful videos.